My mum asked me to watch my siblings for a week. It's been 9 weeks. My mum asked me to watch my siblings for a week. It's been 9 weeks. February 21st, 2024. Oop is 19F and finds herself watching her younger siblings 16F, 13F, 12Miss, 9F, and 7F after her mom went out before Christmas. Then she texted Oop that she would be gone for a week. It has been 9 weeks since then, and Oop only heard from her mom 3 times and said she wasn't coming back anytime soon. Oop is trying to hang on in order to survive as she and her siblings live with their nan, who doesn't provide any help at all. Older siblings have moved out of the house as well. Oop asked if it was a legal issue for social services to get involved, and with her mum being gone for that long. Update 1, February 29th, 2024. Oop got a chance to speak with her mum on the phone, asking for custody. Mum refused to return home, and Oop is done with her shit. The next step, Oop spoke with a lawyer regarding her younger siblings, and she should be able to receive legal guardianship through court. Older brother, 22, told Oop he will move back home to help Oop with their siblings on one condition, that their mom does not come back home. Brother has no contact with their mom. Oop is trying to get things in order and rhythm with her younger siblings, since they needed a healthy routine to keep their lives balanced at home and schools. Prior to that, things were in chaos, and nothing has been getting done. She asks for advice, and Redditors have provided their support and advice. Additional information from Oop. Oop provided a comment regarding her father's whereabouts and why he wasn't stepping up to take care of the family. The father left the family 5 years prior because older siblings have confirmed that he was abusing them. Oop mentions her father has done his disappearing and returning acts many times. This time, no one knows where he is at this moment after walked out. Editor S note: Oop has appeared into the Boru after the first one was posted. I have received her permission to share her comment. Greater than Oop, thank you SM for all the helpful comments. Here in messages offering help divided by advice. I will reply to them all when I can. Greater than RN, I'm putting all my energy into the new routine and trying to sort out legal guardianship so we can get money for the kids and so on. Everything else is a problem for later on when we are more settled. My older brother came up last weekend, and TBH it was nice but weird. BC the younger kids don't even remember him and they pretty much clung to me for the entire time. BC having a man in the house is strange for them, but after he left they said they miss him and liked having him here. He's been sorting his shit out this week, and is coming back tomorrow with all his stuff, and will be working remote from our house. Me and him have spoken a lot, and I think we will be able to get on the same page with the kids and make it work. I'm worried about some things with parenting differences, but we will figure it out. I'm trying not to seem controlling, but it's hard to adjust to someone else being very involved when I have been looking after them by myself. I know I need him though. Greater than my nan was actively trying to undermine me and we had an argument. Then my brother got here, and he had an argument with her in the first half hour, so she has gone to my aunt's for a while. She is still paying the bills here, but if she stops we will be okay with my brother's money and mine. My brother wants to take the kids and move house, but I am not even thinking about that until everything else is sorted out. Now that things are actually changing, our older sisters are more interested and have been messaging me so they might help as well. Greater than the kids are not taking the new routine too well, but we are making progress, so I'm trying to stick with it. I made a meal plan and have stuck to that all week. My 9-year-old sister told me she likes rules, which makes it feel worth it. The teenagers are kind of a nightmare, but in trying to persevere with them. The 10-year-old was being horrific and I lost my shit, which made her have an emotional breakdown, and now she's been a lot better. 12-year-old has taken it okay-ish. He just tells me I'm a loser all the time and asks for his skateboard back a million times a day, but I know he knows where it is, so he is being pretty good considering he could just take it back if he really wanted. 16-year-old is hell. 7-year-old has like 3 tantrums a day and won't eat or sleep, so she stresses me out probably the most. Greater than my mom hasn't called anymore, but is complying with giving us custody, and told her friend it's the best thing that's ever happened to her. I CBA with her, and if she tries to come back, I will do everything I can to keep her away from the kids. Update 2, March 14th, 2024. Oop comes back to provide more updates on her family situation after receiving support from Boru. After reviewing options available from Redditors, she goes forward with having kinship as it was the better choice for the family financially than legal guardianship. Oop's older brother 22 has returned home and is now working remotely, which works great for the siblings. Oop's older sister has gotten in contact and informed she will send some money to help. Other oldest sister is working but will try to help on her weeks off, but can't guarantee until things are stable. Oop shared individual updates on each siblings with their acceptance and struggles to their new reality as they are on a new routine with the older brother now in charge. He is helping Oop get the handle of their new lives with a healthy routine at home. The youngest sibling is taking the changes harder. The middle siblings are adjusting okay. The other two siblings are doing fine with brother being there. Moving forward, Oop focuses on helping siblings adjust to new changes made. Update 3, April 4th, 2024. Oop and her older brother received approvals for kinship on their younger siblings. Mom still hasn't contacted Oop for a while, except to complain about her missing their dad so much. That was the main point for Mom, to ruin everyone's days and moods, especially Oop's. The siblings' Nan is still not helping with the family at all. She has left to stay with their siblings and, while can't stand to be around the children, giving individual updates on each sibling Oop has been looking after, still having struggles with the siblings, who are not adjusting very well to the new changes from their older siblings. The 7-year-old sister takes this the hardest. Oop is trying to find solutions to help her youngest sibling, especially with having breakdowns because the siblings have no parents now. Slowly, the youngest consider Oop and their older brother as her parents after feeling more stable with the new life changes. Oop and her brother are working on finding right disciplines for their siblings. Brother is trying to find the best ways to keep his young siblings in check. He had past childhood trauma scars from their father's punishments of using an electric cord as a whip onto his bottom. Wants to break the cycle and not doing the same thing to the young siblings. Oop worked on getting all of her younger siblings to doctors to make sure they are healthy. Making great food choices for the entire family was the goal so the youngest siblings can catch up with their peers on their health. Therapy and other appointments are added to the list, so everyone's mental health can get back in good positions. The siblings are blessed to have the oldest brother and Oop around with support and love. Things are looking up a bit. Feeling like shit. Parenting is kind of hell. RN, April 14th, 2024. Oop has her own struggles on parenting her 5 younger siblings, but having her older brother there helped so much. Oop was not happy with her 16-year-old sister for videoing their 7-year-old sister having a breakdown regarding their parents' abandonment, taking away the 16-year-old's phone. Oop discovers she has been messaging their mom without her knowledge. The sister was begging their mom to come home to no response. Oop is upset because her sister hid it from her. Mom tells 16 years old she had better things to do than raising the children altogether. Oop's older sister 2 calls in to check with her and the siblings to make sure things are okay and sending money. Still angry at Mom for replacing her with the youngest sister who is now 7. Oop tells her that it's not her fault. Oop's oldest sister 1 wanted to bring Oop to live with her because she is trying to shield Oop from family problems. Oop tells oldest sister that she will be okay. She needs to be there for their younger siblings. Oop and her brother are still working on getting therapy for all involved. Update 4, May 20th, 2024. Oop returns a month later with a new update after receiving more support from Redditors. She shares news on things happening in her family. Older sister 2 is able to make a visit soon to check in with Oop and their siblings. Sister's relationship with their brother 22 is sort of strained due to past childhood trauma altogether when they and their oldest sister 1 were younger. Oop understood why her 3 older siblings moved out at 18, while the family problems were not being resolved and affecting their mental health. Oop has a short update on her Nan. She's still giving her a hard time, especially when she doesn't want to help Oop with the siblings. Nan wants Oop's cousin to move in the house and kick Oop and her siblings out for no reasons. Oop knew not to give in to her grandma and shut her down. Oop shared her mom might have located her dad. She suspected her mom has been messaging her for pictures of the 12-year-old brother to prove that the boy looks like their dad. Mom is still talking bad about Oop and siblings and hoping that the dad will love her more than anyone else. Oop is not sending any pictures to her mom because she didn't care about her children except for herself and the dad. After talking with sister 2, Oop learned their dad might have more kids. They might be older or closer to the 3 oldest siblings, ages sisters 1 and 2. But nothing else has been shared on the possible oldest siblings older than sister 1. Oop is now 20 and has mixed feelings about her 7-year-old sister calling her mommy. Oop has reached a point that no one else is going to take over the motherly role for the siblings. She is working on getting used to be called mummy, especially from the 7-year-old. The 9-year-old is worried about calling Oop her mummy too because it was uncomfortable for her. Oop has given the comfort to 9-year-old sister that she can call Oop if she wants to. On to Matt. Oop is concerned about the 7-year-old sister calling him dad because the youngest sister wants a father figure in her life. With that fact, it might or might not trigger the other siblings, who are not happy with their absent father. Oop has confirmed there were lots of trials and errors on figuring the life changes, especially dealing with the younger siblings when they get in trouble. With Matt in charge, it helps Oop and him with figuring what works and what doesn't with each sibling. Oop received lots of concerns about her 7-year-old about the possibility of being autistic. She has cleared with the doctor and therapist on her sister. It appears that the youngest sister was dealing with anxiety and abandonment issues, but she is starting to improve a bit at a time now that Oop has been giving her love and attention when needed. For Matt, the oldest brother, now that he has been home and in charge, things are getting better. He is not the same like the parents at all when it comes to disciplining. When Matt is upset, he steps away in order to calm down and not reacting very badly in front of his younger siblings. He has scars from their dad's beatings when he was younger, and also their mum has broken several bones on few siblings. Matt and Oop are breaking the cycles and putting on healthy disciplines for their younger siblings. Northeast W update. Update 6 HTTPs, divided by red. A divided by 1EA79W6, July 23, 2024. Another update since it's been like 2 months since the last one. 16-year-old is still up and down. Sometimes so nice and easy to be around, and other times I'm like TF is going on in her head. Like she had been really good with asking if she could go out and telling us who with and where and what she was doing, which was like so much progress. Then a couple weeks ago, I went to check on one of the other kids at like 1 a.m. and 16-year-old wasn't in bed or anywhere else in the house. Called her 10 times and she had gone out. Her excuse was we were already in bed when she was invited, so she couldn't ask. That's BS anyway, because she knows I wasn't asleep. I was laying with 7-year-old and had my phone with me so she could have texted me. Just stupid shit like that, where I'm like, I just need to know where you were, like especially at night. And she likes to argue with me about disciplining the younger ones, which is hell ironic because she thinks she can do whatever she wants and I'm like evil if I tell her no. But then she tells me I'm a soft pushover when the little kids are doing something they shouldn't. 9-year-old has been terrorizing 7-year-old, and I'm trying to deal with it based on advice from the therapist and stuff I have read. 16-year-old likes to get involved and give 9-year-old a taste of her own medicine, which pretty much means she slaps her back. That doesn't help with my entire aim of everyone keeping their hands to themselves. I can see why 16-year-old does it. BC, I have to fight the urge to do the whole "you hurt her, I'll hurt you" thing with 9-year-old, since that was what my parents were like when they could be bothered to try to actually parent. Anyway, now I spend half the time trying to keep 9 and 7 separate, and the other half arguing with 16-year-old about discipline. Worse than 9-year-old has done was hit 7-year-old on the head with a metal water bottle, and Matt lost his shit as much as you can lose it with a kid that age. She has been better since, but still not nice. Basically, she's frustrated with 7-year-old. BC, she won't play or anything at the moment, where they used to be best friends and play all day long. And 9-year-old is trying to kind of discipline 7-year-old. BC, she doesn't like it when she has meltdowns or talks about our dad or anything. 7-year-old is my shadow, and BC, she doesn't sleep well. She is always divided by grumpy and not much fun for 9-year-old to be around, so she gets angry with her. I was trying to push to 7-year-old to play, and that always ended in tears. BC, she would just sit there and not join in whatever game 9-year-old was wanting her to play, so she'd get mad and lash out. So now I'm just letting 7-year-old be, and if she's happy being my shadow, then okay. For context, she's so attached to me that when she wasn't in the same room as me for like 10 minutes recently, and I knew Matt didn't have her, I was kind of concerned where she was. Went and found her Saturday on 1-year-old's lap whilst he played a video game with his friend. The fact she was interested in something other than me or Matt was like whoa, and I literally almost cried. With 9-year-old, we are trying to give her more 1-to-1 time because she likes that and Duffel needs it, but it's difficult to work around everything else. Matt has more time to spend with her, but she mostly wants me. I can usually get like 20 minutes with her in the evening, but that's it. Obviously I see her more than that, but with the other kids there and 7-year-old being needy it's not really quality time. 13 and 12 are basically the same. Pretty easy compared to the other 3. 13 has her moments of copying 16 and being a huge pain in my ass, but mostly she is good. A bit of attitude is breezy, like give me the best you've got Ijif about that. As long as she's not jumping out her bedroom window and running around in the middle of the night. Had an issue with her. BC, she wanted to sleep over at her friend's house and I said no. BC, the dad is so sus, and she was hell mad at me, but she got over it. 12 just wants big bro's approval, so he's been good. Hasn't told me to go fuck myself in ages. Lol. BC, Matt is literally the respect police and won't let him get away with the shit he used to say to me. Matt is sorting out all the moving stuff, trying to make it happen end of the year hopefully. I'm not really involved as I'm too busy, and he knows more about it as he has done all the research, and I told him to figure out work in a house and schools and then just fill me in. I reduced my hours at work as it was too much, and things have been easier since. Our sister too is saying she will move with us maybe as she wants to help out. Would be amazing to have 3 adults in the house, but we will have to see if that will Duffel work or not. That's kind of it. Nothing else really happening. Haven't heard from my mom, and my nan is still living with our aunt. My oldest sister still sends money, and we talk a bit, but I told her straight that I can't deal with the constant trauma talk are in. Comments. Oop on how long her mom has been gone, and if she plans to ask her mom to come back. Greater than oop. She's been gone 7 months. She isn't coming back, and that's a good thing. BC. She is abusive and toxic. The Incunian. I'm so proud of you for stepping up and doing your best. Your mother doesn't deserve any of her kids. Will she be getting any repercussions for child neglect divided by abandonment? Because she needs to face some kind of consequences for what she's done. Nope, thank you. Greater than she probably would if anyone could figure out where she is. But she has done worse before and nothing happened. They gave us back to her every time we were taken away as kids. No one was even injured or almost dead. This time so doubt they will do anything at all. Kidding, you amaze me. For 7-year-old. Have you looked into any of those stuffed animals for anxiety that may help with sleeping? There are so many out there. Ones that light up, ones that are weighted, ones that make sounds like breathing or heartbeat. I have a 19-year-old with anxiety, and luckily her weighted blanket helps her a lot, so she gets by with a long stuffed cat like 3 feet long that's the perfect size for cuddling, without the bells and whistles of lights or sound. But she used to have one that lit up when she squeezed it and got anxious in the dark. It would stay on for I think 30 minutes with a soft light, giving her time to fall back to sleep. Greater than oop. I was meant to look into this, and forgot, so thanks SM for the reminder. IDK if she will want one, just BC. She is super attached to her collection of very old muslin cloths. They're literally disgusting and freaks out if I dare to suggest she cuddle a teddy or anything else. She's all about the rags. I've been trying and failing to get her a new comfort item for ages, but I will look at weighted stuff and see if I can get her interested. Lol. She likes having my arm on her at night, and squashes herself like right into me, so she defo likes the weight on her. July 29th, 2024. Got my first text from a kid's friend's mom today, inviting 7-year-old to her kid's birthday party in a few weeks. This is the message. Hi Hannah, friend and friend's sister are having a joint birthday party at our house and friend would love for 7-year-old to come. It's drop off 1 p.m. and collect 3 p.m. Let me know if she can make it. IDK. If I like the whole drop-off divided by pickup thing, like I don't even really know these people except to just say hi to. But if that's normal, I don't want to be a freak and make it weird. 7-year-old has literal diagnosed separation anxiety. RN anyway, so I'm not sure she would even let me leave her there, but I'm stressed either way. Don't want her to miss out and don't really want to leave her at someone's house for to HRS, but I would if it turns out this is normal and I'm a nut. Edit. Thanks everyone. Appreciate everyone telling me I can ask the mom to stay without coming across as a lunatic. She was like, yeah duh, there's a couple parents staying and I can. If I want ta divided by a 7 wants me to. So yay, now I feel way less stressed. Didn't ask kiddo yet since she was in a monster mood, and would have said no to anything I asked her, but we'll find out her thoughts tomorrow lol.
Wibta for telling my boyfriend that him being a Trump supporter gives me the ICK. July 24th, 2024. Hi y'all. New account because I don't really want anybody connecting this with me. I, 20, F, started dating my boyfriend, 21, M, about 2-ish months ago. We've known each other for 3 years. We weren't initially interested in dating, but it kinda just happened, and things have been really well except for one thing. I found out he's a Trump supporter. Now before you lecture me in the comments about how I shouldn't let politics get in the way of my relationship, please hear me out. It's just been a couple of things that have really rubbed me the wrong way about him for some reason. For context, I am a Hispanic female immigrant, fled from a country where, if I can put it in simplest terms, went to SHIT, who's had nothing but bad experiences with Trump supporters because almost every single time without fail, they would always say or do something extremely demeaning to myself or my family, talking about how people like us should be deported without even realizing they are referring to us, saying that people like me are a threat to the country, slut-shaming, etc., etc. I consider myself the kind of person who judges a person's character based on what they believe in, and time again, it's been proved to me that these types of people are the type I should stay away from. On the day that Trump got convicted, we started talking politics, and he told me that he's not really a felon. The courts were unfair, there was bias, and he should have had a fair trial. Not exactly verbatim, but that's pretty much the point he made when I told him that Trump was a felon now. When we were watching The Boys, S4, and that one part where an old man was explaining to Newman that women can get reject pregnancies, he agreed with that old man. When I explained to him that that's not how women work, he apologized to me, but I was still absolutely surprised that he didn't even understand such a basic thing about women. He has a sister, so it's not like he grew up without women in his life. We had a conversation about immigration, And he told me that all immigrants should be immediately deported. I told him that myself and my family are immigrants. And if that meant he wanted US to be deported, to which he said, but you guys are legal. I'm talking about the illegal ones. I told him that this type of rhetoric makes me feel unsafe. And the conversation kinda just ended there. When we were having a conversation about the Trump-Epstein relationship, he told me that it was all a conspiracy and that Trump isn't the type of person to do that. I brought up a bunch of examples of Trump being a predator, the pussy grabber stuff, heckling a 10-year-old, the creepy comments about his daughter, the flight logs, making the point that while being guilty by association isn't a thing, the other instances of him being a predator make this seem a lot more plausible. He told me that Trump never did any of that. And in a way, that kinda broke the camel's back for me, because I myself am a victim of sexual assault. And the nasty thought occurred to me that if I ever got assaulted, he probably wouldn't even believe me. That him standing behind someone I consider a rapist means that he condones Trump's actions. And by extension, the actions of the man who assaulted me. I don't know how he, who grew up with women, and has a girlfriend, who he is fully aware of is Hispanic and an immigrant, has LGBTQ+ friends, and states that he loves people like me and his family, can even stand behind something like that. It makes me wonder if there's a side of him that he hasn't revealed to me yet, because this is a new relationship. And that makes me extremely uncomfortable. I'm asking if I WAPTA for telling him that this gives me the ICK because my own family is telling me that I shouldn't let politics get in the way of my relationship. That Trump wants people to fight each other and that I shouldn't let Trump win. But I really don't know. Can I get some advice? Relevant comments ***. Cat pessimatologist. NTA. He may be speaking out of brainwashed ignorance. But even after offering your perspective, he tells you that you're wrong. If you stay with him, you will never stop having to educate this guy, and he doesn't really want to be educated. OOP. Yeah, I can agree with that. Every time I invite him to do his own research, he'll always pull up a pro-Trump article and use it as evidence that I'm wrong. Or ask me multiple times where I'm getting my resources until I doubt myself. He's been asking me to promise that we wouldn't let our differences in beliefs cause problems in our relation, and I feel like I'm being babied a bit. It's been really stressing me out. Because aside from that, he's really nice to me. And a lot of my family is excited about meeting him and his family. Breaking up with him after I just announced I was dating him would cause even more problems for me. But the more I think about it, the more I realize that it will probably be for the better. I think I'm okay with carrying through with it. I'll talk to him when I see him later. I'm not really excited about it because we go to the same school. Update, July 29, 2024. Hey y'all. Update here. I didn't really expect my last post to blow up or for people to tell me that this is a justifiable reason for ending a relationship. So thank you for not being judgmental. A lot of people were asking me what country my family came from. So I'll just say it since I don't think that's identifiable information. It's Venezuela. If you don't know what's happening there, then I envy you. Also shout out to those PPL who thought this was AI generated. I find it kinda sad that this has pretty much become the state of Reddit now. Like if you think something's AI, just don't engage with it. That's what people who post AI want from you. Don't let them win. Now on to the update. I spent the last couple of days with my dad who was visiting me, and deleting social media and muting a bunch of politics-related stuff because I've come to realize that regularly listening to people talk about how people like me ruin the country and how we don't belong here isn't really good for my mental health, and neither is dating someone who openly admits to supporting that group. So I talked to, now ex-BF. I went to his room instead of inviting him to mine because I knew that if I let him in my room, he would just refuse to leave until he was convinced me. And I wanted to keep the power of removing myself from the situation at any time. We live in a college dorm.
Firstly, I should say that I admitted to him on the day that I made my first post that him supporting a known rapist is hurtful to me because him tolerating that behavior makes me question if he's tolerant of the POS who assaulted me, and thus, I see him in a different light, and he's sent a very long text message just telling me that it hurt his feelings and that he does care about me being sod. I didn't really understand though, because he votes for a pussy grabber. It boiled down to, I feel terrible that you see me as the type of person who'd be okay with rape, because I'm not okay with it. I acknowledge that I might have been an ought to say that, so I started that conversation by apologizing to him, and then following with me just telling him that I want to end the relationship and going back to being friends. I don't think I meant the friends part though. You can't have your cake and eat it. I can't be your friend if you affiliate yourself with a group of people who regularly shit on me. He tried to convince me to stay by saying that he really loved me and cared about me and respected my opinions, that we shouldn't let politics get in the way of our relationship. I responded that I can't change what he believes and that I value a person's beliefs and the group of people they associate with as a method of how I judge their character. I've already judged him. I don't like what I see, and therefore, I've lost my feelings for him. He told me I was making a generalization. I told him that while it is true that I might be making a generalization, we can't change the fact that in this landscape of politics, Many of my rights are in the chopping block, and that I am already starting to resent him for not really feeling listened to when I try to talk about how anxious it's making me. He told me that none of that stuff is going to happen, and that our different opinions shouldn't get in the way of our relationship, that he's voting for Trump because he thinks he can fight inflation and cares about military members. I told him that while I can list a million reasons why that isn't true, that isn't relevant to the conversation. He then said that all his other relationships never consisted of talk about politics and that this was ridiculous. I pretty much told him that he can't have his cake and eat it. I can't date someone who associates with people who give me trouble, and that this won't be sustainable. Ending is better for the both of us. I realized that this conversation was going nowhere and decided to just leave. I told him to just give up on it already before leaving. He kept asking me to stay while he thought about what to say, but I didn't. I'm just done. I don't really feel sad. I feel so relieved. I'm going to leave social media for a while and just focus on myself for a while. I'm going to therapy too. I'll stick around to read your comments. IDK, how much longer I'll be able to respond though? If I go radio silent, then just take that as a sign that I am no longer on this app. Have a nice day. Relevant MMENTS. MAMEDENNIS 1974. Greater than NTA. You don't break up with him because he gives you the ick. His support of a racist and homophobic convicted felon does not align with your values. Greater than, it's not a quirky little thing, like disagreeing on a choice of music or what team to root for in a game. Greater than BT. He may claim to have all these diverse friends, but I can assure you that they do not consider him their friend with views like this. Greater than, anyone in your family opinion about your relationship does not matter here. They aren't dating him. You are. Greater than the fact that you point out to him how you are an immigrant too, and that doesn't seem to register at all to him. Honey, he's in a cult. There's no saving him. Of greater than, you pretty much summed up my exact thoughts on why his gay friend doesn't want to hang out with him anymore. I found out recently that there's a bit of a rift in their relationship, and I didn't even start thinking about why until I learned more about him. Everyone's burning bridges.